Welcome back, and yes, we have just signed a contract with Dodge for my new gamer profile, Jev USA. For those of you who don't know, I will be working in America for the next 12 months, and we needed to create a new gamer profile so we could race in the American FIA races. So I went with the most American car possible, the Dodge. No one really chooses Dodge, so I thought, why not make Dodge great again? So we're going to have a crack at race B around Sardinia in the Dodge, see how well we can do. So right now the sort of meta cars are the Huracan, the McLaren's pretty good, and the Nissan, the Nismo, is pretty fast around here. The really fast boys are doing it in really low 52s, and the super fast people are doing it in the 51.9s. We set a lap time of 52.7, and the two in front of us have set lap times of 52.4s. So an American and a Costa Rican in front of us. Can we go about closing them down? So here we go then into the first corner, heavy on the brakes, down to second gear. A corner that really favours a driver who can really push the car to carry a lot of speed through it, as we're all over the back of the American now. The American in that Ford GT, another American beauty, as he goes a little bit wide there and just dips two wheels into the sand trap, which seemed to be a lot stickier since the recent update, as we come through the sweeping S's down the hill and go about catching up the Costa Rican now into another heavy braking section. We'll do a nice little lap guide as well, as much as I know about the track. Sardinia obviously being one of the new tracks added to the game, as we come up the start-finish straight over this little crest and into the braking zone there, braking at about 100, and really trying to get on the power early and shifting up to get that good traction. Obviously flat through these two right left-hand corners, and now coming into this left here, which really affects the speed that you end up carrying down into these S's. Into third gear, a quick shift up to fourth to get the car turned in traction, and now if you can, full power all the way down that hill and coming up into a very, very tricky last corner. On the brakes, just as you come out of the right, down to first gear, up to second early to get the traction down on the exit, and you're back onto the start-finish straight. Very, very quick, very fast course, but if you watch the faster lap times, the top people who have set those really, really insane alien times, it is doable. You watch them, you use the ghosts, you can do it. I believe you can do it. I think I could get close. I think I've set a 52.3 or a 52.2 in the Nismo on my Jeb James account, but obviously it's being the American count, I'm just going to use the Dodge on here. So third lap, coming into the final corner now, we're just under a second away from the Costa Rican into first, trying to get that nice smooth exit, shifting up early to second, shifting up early to third again. In the Dodge, obviously, that short shift around 60-65% is faster for the car because of how the torque works, as we actually set the fastest lap time, which is really, really good in our quest to win this race, as we're all over the back of the Lamborghini now, heavily into that suck zone, which is going to pull us around the track. He's got his hazards on, which is a little bit off-putting, but we can't change it, so we're just going to have to deal with it as we set another purple sector, which is actually 0.2 faster than our fastest lap time there, which is obviously due to the slipstream that we're getting from the Huracan. A nice exit out there again. Lamborghini just getting a better one though. Maybe it's just because the type of car that it is, but we're still in that slipstream zone. 0.4 there into the 0.3 as we set that fastest lap time. The fastest lap we've ever done in the Dodge as well. All over the back of the Costa Rican now, really applying that pressure as we come around that sweeping left corner, just past the penalty area there. No penalties as yet. As we both go a little bit deep and both go onto the grass. That was our chance to really capitalise on a mistake from the Costa Rican, but we couldn't do it, and now our tyres are dirty, which is affecting the handling of the car coming down those S's. As we see, not a very clean lap from either of us. Really should have been able to take advantage there as we're sliding out of that corner, but still in that 5/10 distance to the car in front, which obviously puts us heavy in the slipstream. So, lap 6, 7 and 8 to come. 3 laps left. What can we do? Can we go about getting past this guy? We're faster in the first corner than him, for sure. Can we go about maybe making a move on that next lap? So here we go into the left-hand corner. Oh, we've gone a little bit too deep, and we've had to lift on the exit of that corner, which is going to affect our run through the S's coming down the hill. And you can see the distance grow between us and the Lamborghini in front of us. That left-hand corner before the S's coming down the hill, I think, is the most important corner on the track. So we get a nice exit out, but that gap has now grown, and I think we're now out of the suck zone, and that is actually how it stayed for the remainder of the race, as we find ourselves on the last corner of the last lap, about 2 seconds down. We didn't have a good last couple of laps, and deserved the second place. The Costa Rican in first, nice and consistent, but that is going to be it. Our first race on the new account, and it's a second place in the Dodge Viper of all cars. So what can we do in this second race? Starting third behind a different American, but that Costa Rican still in first place again. So I think for this race we need to work on our consistency, maybe towards the end of the race, just to keep that consistency. Might see us grab another couple of places in future races. So, an American and a Costa Rican again in front of us, both in Hurricanes. If we come in, there's been contact between first and second place. I've gone into the back of McQueen, getting our first SR down of our profile. Sad times, sad emoji, as we come into the left-hand corner now. Third into fourth. Let's try and get a nice run down into the S's there. A little bit awkward on that first corner. I think the Costa Rican went into it a little bit slow. Maybe McQueen went in a little bit fast, made contact, really slowed each other down. And then obviously I went into the back of McQueen because they were going slower than expected. But it's worked out for me, and it's worked out for McQueen as well. The Costa Rican was in fourth, back up to third now, and on the warpath to get back into that top spot. So, chasing down the American. Now, he had a 52.4 qualifying lap time, so I'm expecting him to be faster than me, but obviously in a race anything can happen. Coming into this left-hand corner now, down to third. He's got a little bit slidey there. As we see, he's made a big slide there. Can we capitalise? No, we can't. We're going to have a slide of our own. But we do have the run on him coming down into this final corner. He's going to go really wide there, but no! Magically, he appears inside of us. We have been entered by an American, and that has really put me off. I was watching him being inside of me, and it has affected us to the point that we have spun off the track. So very, very unfortunate, but obviously that's his connection, as if you looked up a couple of seconds earlier into that top left-hand corner, he was actually down to 1 bar. But anyway, on with the race in 6th place, sending it up the inside of the Beetle, yeeting it up the inside of the Yeetle, and that puts us back into 5th place. So the time between us and Nolan in front of us, just under 4 seconds. Nolan driving a Dodge Viper as well. As we now jump forward to the end of lap 5. Nolan 1.7 seconds away, as another American has made a mistake, which now gives us the opportunity to get back in that podium position. Nolan, you can just see him at the top there, or the top of the straight. But can we go about now closing down the gap to the Ford in front of us? The Ford pretty solid car, just like the Dodge. I think they're both very, very nice cars to drive. Unlike other cars like the Nismo or the Supra, very, very difficult cars to drive. These boys, though, very solid, but maybe that's why they lack that little bit of edge. So the Ford actually closing up distance to the Dodge, goes for a little bit of a move there, maybe a little bit of contact, but that's going to slow him down and give the Dodge a little bit of a bump. You see the distance just increase between them there. So coming on to lap 7 now, 2 more laps. We just set our fastest lap of the race. Into the heavy braking zone there. The Ford in front of us just a little bit awkward going into there. He was going towards the apex, then he came out, then it kind of affected my entry as well. So we're going to stay the same distance away from him as we were before the corner. Coming into this left-hand corner, then down to 3rd gear. A nice entrance, shift up to 4th to get that traction, and he is around. We talk about consistency all of the time, and he's made a mistake on lap 5 and lap 7. So he could have been looking at a podium position, but instead he's going to have to settle for one further down the field. As we come around the final corner now, behind Nolan, our Dodge Viper compatriot, we see that we have been chipping away at him over the last couple of laps. Remember, we were just under 5 seconds when we yeeted it past the Beetle, and now we're on to the final lap, and within half a second of him. He went really narrow there for some reason, which affected his exit. As you can see, we are all over the back of him now, but no real place to get past him there. So we're going to have to settle in behind him. We're going to go for the cutback here, braking a little bit earlier, trying to get that later apex to try and get a better run out, but we kind of messed it up as we go in here, and we've hit the wall. Absolutely heartbreaking, as we probably were going to get a better run down through those S's, and we have gifted 3rd place and that final podium position to Nolan. Kind of sucks being beaten by another Dodge driver, but the drive that we had was pretty good. We made up for the early spin due to the connection issues from McQueen. But if you look at the total time, 7:08.7, that was around the same time as the race before. Let's see if we can go about beating it in this final one. So starting in first, very different for us. We don't have those faster players in here. I think when you first start an account, you have to do 5 races before they give you your driver rating, and you can start leveling it up that way. But this race we are in with races around B and D rating. So let's see what we can do with this one then. Down to 3rd gear, into 4th, sweeping out there. Coming down the S's for the first time in this race, the gap around half a second to the car behind us as we come up to the final hairpin, the final turn of the track. This is where I gained all of my time on the other drivers in this race. The gap was about 4/10 before, and it goes all the way up to 9/10 and about a second by the end of the straight. And that happened lap after lap, and there we go. That is the race. Not a very nice corner to finish on, but 6 seconds the gap, and we are going to take our first win in the Dodge Viper for our Jev USA account. As you look at the times there, 7:08.3, which actually would have won us the previous race as well, so that's very good to know. So there we go, our first win as a Dodge driver for Jev USA. Really excited to see where we can go with this profile in the American FIAs when I'm working in America next year. Thank you for watching, liking and subscribing. I would love to know your thoughts. As always, leave them in the comments section below. Thank you once again to my channel members. If you didn't know, there are new tiers for the member system as well. Click that join button and have a little look. Let's get to 2K, because there is going to be some 2K merch coming out as well. But that's going to be it for this video. We'll see you in the next one.